Hey, it's Mitch and Survival. I'm out in the woods in the middle of the night, and you might hear some cars going by. I'm not too far off the road, a couple hundred yards maybe into the woods. And this is an area that I tap maples every year. And this is one of the ones I tapped last year. And basically the reason why I'm out here tonight is because I wasn't able to get out here during the day. So it's such a short amount of time that you can actually tap maples that if you don't jump on it, you miss the boat. It's like a week or two long. That's it. And the amount of yield that you get depends on the temperature. So it has to be freezing at night and above freezing during the day. Today was 40 degrees during the day, and yesterday was as well. And a great way to check that is when you're in your house, if you see water flowing off your roof, then your sap is running if you're in the northeast. Now birch trees also run sap as well, which I've also collected, and I made teas with instead of using water, and that's very delicious, but it's absolutely not maple syrup, I'll tell you that. So it's kind of been a ritual that I've been doing, and this year I have to come out during the night, and that's fine. So I want to take you guys along, and I want to have a little chat about something too, because this kind of shows determination in a way, a willingness to get a resource. Basically, this resource only comes in a very short time, and I can either jump on the opportunity or I can't. And there's a very important rule in survival, and that is you have to be willing to do what's necessary to survive. That can be something as simple as coming out in the middle of the night to tap maple trees because you love maple sap that much, or it's the only vitamins you can get in the winter if you're living out in the woods, whatever the case may be. Obviously there's been more extreme cases of people doing what needs to be done to survive. Not everyone is willing to do it. Not everyone is willing to do what's necessary. If you're stranded on a raft in the ocean, you eat the eyes of fish because it has natural water. It has water that doesn't have any salt in it. There's no other fresh water source except for rain and dew out in the ocean. And dew doesn't really happen too often. You have to really make a solar still and all this other business. So, you have to be willing to eat fish eyes. So, not everyone is able to do that. So there's a certain determination there that you have to have, a certain will to do it, and I'm not saying that I'm in that situation, but this is good practice, It's like I'm willing to come out here in the middle of the night to drill holes in maple trees, because I love the maple sap that much. Last year I tapped 9 trees, got something about 8 gallons or so, and I missed the beginning, I missed the beginning of the run. So this year I probably missed a day or two because it probably started running today or yesterday, and it's going to be cold during the rest of the week. It's going to be middle 30s, so that means sap's going to be running pretty slow, but it's still going to be running. So I'm going to take advantage. I'm going to put out some taps tonight, and we'll see what I get at the the end of the week, or whenever it is that I feel like I've had enough. I don't just take as much as I can. I take as much as I'm happy to have. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pick a tree to tap, and I'll try to show you guys. Obviously it's a little tricky at night, but I'll try to get a decent camera angle with the lighting I have rigged up, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so I'm going to be using this drill bit to get my hole started, and then I'm going to jump up to a bigger bit once I'm happy with this, and I have it marked here at 2.5 inches. It's important not to go too far. So, one of those old hand crank drills I just picked up at an antique shop. The next one I'm going to pick up is one of the little flywheel ones, and that way it's smaller in my pack. But this is what I got, so I'm using it. Alright, let's get started. Okay, so here's my hole from last year. Now sap isn't going to run on this vein anymore because there's xylem and phloem in here. There's 2 different types of tissue once you get past the cork cambium. and they run down to the apical meristem, which is a spot where the roots and the trunk start on all plants. It's a special spot where the cells are kind of ambidextrous. They can be either. They're kind of like, say, stem cells for humans. A very interesting spot, apical meristem. Anyway, so the sap goes up from there, and it goes up in these channels. So now this channel is dead, unfortunately. Obviously the trees aren't going to die. I'm just going to move over to like here. Now, why do I like this spot? Because the sun is coming from where you are. All day it's going to go right past this direction. Okay? So this is the sun's path on the tree. That's why it's widest here. See how it's wider? Actually, I don't know if you guys can see that, but the tree's widest right here. And the trees tend to lean towards the sun if they can, or grow towards the sun if they can. You know, it really does depend on situation, but it's kind of one of those common rules. So, anyways, this is the sun-facing side, and it's going to have more sap running faster than the opposite side, which is the shade. Okay, so I'm going to drill on this side, a few inches over, about 3 inches over from where I drilled last time. Okay, I'll probably only use this tree one more year, and then I'll move on to other trees. This is another good tree. Now, these are the smallest I really want to drill on. You don't really want to go any smaller than these trees. You know, like this tree is absolutely too small. You don't want to drill in this tree. It's the size of my wrist. I don't want to kill the tree. It's not worth it to get a gallon of sap, you know. And you can expect to get a gallon of sap in a night. It absolutely happens. Alright, so pretty simple stuff. You guys know how to drill. But basically you just pick a spot and you get to work. Slight up angle. Alright, I'm at my marker. I'm going to swap out my bit, and I'll get back to you. Alright, nice clean channel. Oh, I love that smell, guys. That's some good stuff right there. Alright, just put this aside. I'll get back when I'm at the next step. Alright, so I just broke this stick off a little maple sapling. Just beveling the edges, both sides, to have strength. The reason why I'm making this quick little tool here is basically I need something to hammer in. I need something to absorb the blow of what I used to pound in. I've heard this called a few things. Spiel, spigot, you know, tap. Basically, I have to put this in the tree, and you have to hit it right here. And, you know, I've used rocks, I used a raw hammer, and it always damages it. I mean, it doesn't make it unusable, but it dents it. This is soft metal, and it really beats it up. So it lowers the life expectancy of the tool. Okay, so I obviously don't want that. You know, it literally changes the expiration date on this tool, and I can't reproduce this tool in the wild. Not exactly like this, not metal. You know. So it's very important to to think of ways to not damage your tools if possible. Alright, so basically I have to hammer this in like I was saying. And I push it in as far as I can before I use any tools. Alright, that's about as far as I can get it. It's almost where it needs to be. I'm going to just tap it in a little bit more so the weight of the gallon doesn't knock it over. So I could just hit it right here, but again I'm going to damage it. Or I could use a rock. Again I'm going to damage it. So instead, I just use a stick like this. This one's actually curved, so it's going to be a little interesting. Well, this is all there is to it. Alright, push it down some more, get it in there some more. Alright, how are we looking? Alright, that's nice and solid. Alright, has a nice down angle, and this is going to work. So I'll just have to clean this up with my knife, so I can do it on the next one. So now that's in there, I'm going to get my my bucket, which is actually a gallon jug, and throw it on here and tie it on. So give me 1 second. I have them right behind me. Alright, so here's my jug. Give me some working room. Alright, now I'm just going to use a little piece of paracord. I actually use the same ones every year. I just put them in a spot so I don't forget where they are. Alright, so this is pretty simple. So I'm not going to be using the hook. Basically, I want to tie this so it's sitting just like this. So every drip lands inside. Pretty simple, right? So I'm going to start by going inside the handle and around the tree. Now obviously I want this to stay tight, because if this falls, I've really disrespected this tree, because I've taken its lifeblood and I've actually wasted it. So I obviously don't want that. Okay, that's going to work just like that. So the knot that I use is taut line hitch, which I showed in a different video, rather a earlier video. But as you might remember, it goes under, under, over. So right now I'm doing that behind the tree. Just gotta make sure it's nice and tight. Alright. Alright. So this is one tree tapped. Gotta love it. Thank you very much for your sap. I appreciate it. I won't take too much from you. And I'm gonna move on to the next tree. And I'll see you guys later. Hi, it's been Mitch of Native Survival. Thanks for joining me tonight while I set up my sap line for my maple sap to turn into maple syrup. And I will see you guys on the next one. Appreciate your views, your comments, and support. Take care.